Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Alphacraft. Now, if you hadn't guessed from the thumbnail and from the title for the episode, we're going to be working at Spawn today, at the Spawn neighborhood, because it's high time that we make our mark on the neighborhood and we get ourselves a house here, kind of a home away from home, our vacation home, if you will, and add it to the collection of lovely houses in this area. So, yeah. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a bit of time-lapse building, and we'll start putting together our house. Okay, going into this, as per usual, we're kind of just winging it building. I have a couple ideas I'd like to implement into this build. We're going to go ahead, you can see I've started putting in where the porch is going to be, and then a back door, because there's actually a path that kind of runs along kind of behind where my house is sitting. So I want kind of a front entrance, and then I want two different entrances into kind of a basement area, sort of a basement. Semi above ground, semi basement, and then it'll be above ground for that path behind the house. So right now I'm just kind of clearing. Look at that pillager horde. You'll see those a couple times. They love Spawn for some reason. They love Spawn, it seems like. Then we're going to go ahead and start putting in some pillars and getting kind of a general frame to this kind of coming together. But you can see I've kind of got a staircase that goes up, and that's going to lead to kind of a porch, and then the main floor entrance, and then the staircase going down that leads into this like subfloor basement area, I guess. But okay, so I've got some framing down, just a general idea. And so I'm going to start putting a floor out so I can kind of get that plotted out. And so we have something to step up onto. So, and then we're going to go ahead and bring the porch in. Just kind of get some sort of an idea together about where the door is going to be. Even though I do end up changing that a little bit later as the rest of the building kind of starts coming together. And that way I can kind of frame the door in a little bit nicer. So... and then we're going to go ahead and finish out some of the pillar work down here. I've tried to get the camera in as good as I can, and I've also done in this speed build, I've done less movement, so you're going to see a lot of like steel frame work. This actually right here was supposed to be a steel frame, but it still likes to wobble sometimes. I don't know, there might be a way I can control that, but I'm still learning. So. And then we're going to add these little like support beams that come off of the lower floor support. And we're going to use those here in just a minute. So let's go ahead and remove our border. I will say that this build is fairly one chunk. There are some balconies and stuff that stick out, but judging by the other builds in the area, that doesn't seem to be an issue. So I went ahead and did that within this build. And so now I'm just putting in the... basically the walls for this basement area and kind of the foundation stone, let's say, for this building. So, and then I did shift the back door over. It just worked out better there. So, and then we're going to add a ceiling up here. We're just going to use spruce wood to do this ceiling bit. So. And there we go. We kind of have the start of a basement. There's no floor, there's no decorations, but we'll get to that later. Not this episode. It stays grass and stone. And right now I'm just filling in the dirt where I dug out. I'm filling in the dirt around the foundation. So, and then we're going to start bringing up the rest of the building. Adding these like support beams that are coming off of those little stair supports that I added. Just coming straight up, which will kind of act as the frame for this floor. So, and then I'm digging out a staircase, where a staircase is going to be. This one's just going to be one block going down to the basement, and then we'll have a 2 wide going up to the next floor. So, and then we're just gonna kind of bring up the framing, or what frames in kind of the staircase. And then I tried doing these here. I didn't end up liking them. At first I thought I would. There is a couple things within this build. You'll notice where I start doing something, I'm like, no. I end up changing it sooner or later, depending. But okay, so now we are just going to kind of bring this around, and this will kind of help support that top floor section. So, And I will say this build actually came together pretty quick, a lot quicker than I was expecting. It really didn't take me very long, and like to finish out this episode. So, of course, I've already recorded everything minus the outro stuff. So, but we're gonna go ahead and just bring some stone around. I've been going to c-luv's house to sleep, so that's where I've been sleeping. I will end up adding a bed, but and then right here, I went ahead and I just pulled up what we had just added, that oak wood. And then brought the stone around. I decided to go with just full block oak up through here, and then we'll add windows a little bit later on. So, and then we kind of have the shape of the bottom floor starting to come together nicely now, I think. So, and then I'm breaking the stone down there and just bringing that oak through. And I'm using stairs. It might be kind of hard to notice here at first, but I'll turn the angle here. But you can see I've brought stairs down. That bottom one is a stair block instead of a full block. So, and then right here, I can't decide what I want to do. I'm like, let's see. I don't like that. I just keep pulling it up, and then I'm like, meh. I'll just throw down some spruce, and I'll come back and deal with that later. So, and that way it just kind of matches the other blocks around it, which that actually all changes quite a bit. So now we're going to build the staircase up to the next floor, and we can get started on kind of the bulkier part of the build, and then it's going to kind of, getting that top floor on, it's going to kind of shape up the house and give us an idea of where we need to add decoration and stuff like that. So, and my plan is we're going to make this top floor be really, really open, because I want to take advantage of the nice scenic area, because we've got a really good vantage point for the rest of the town from up here. And so I'd like to have this floor be pretty open. You know, I don't have any issues with not having full walls around me and stuff like that. So our goal is to kind of keep that, just really make use of those vantage points. So what we're kind of framing in here, we're going to have a section of the house that comes up, and then we're going to have a big kind of open balcony type area that has a roof covering, is kind of my goal. And so right now we're just kind of building out what's going to be sort of a big balcony slash room sort of thing. It's kind of roofed in there. So, and then I'm going ahead and I'm adding dark oak for the ceilings on this main floor, just really, really quick, just to get that out of the way so we don't have to worry about that later. And then back up here, and we're bringing up fences. That's where the roof's going to plug in to that balcony section. Not the only balcony, but one of the balconies. And then I'm starting to add the roof. Now I will say, I start adding it right here, and here in a minute I'm actually going to pull it back up because I don't like where it's going at all. It's what I was doing, it looked better in my head, but then when I got it all on there, it just kind of looked like a big barn. And so I wasn't really a fan of it. Not on this building anyways, so but it does kind of serve the purpose because I'm trying to get everything lined up for the balcony section roof, and then I can kind of work from there. So that's kind of the goal right here. And of course the roof is a combination of spruce and dark oak for all the roofs. So I decided to break away from our mossy cobble roofs. See, I'm not really a fan of that shape. I think it would work on a different building, but it didn't really feel right on this building to me. When I would step back and look at it, I'm just kind of like, yeah. But I do start putting on the balcony roof right here and kind of framing that around with a little bit of dark oak, and kind of having the dark oak set just below the spruce to add a little bit of variation and kind of a little bit of an overhang there. And then bring that around and start bringing it up. And this is where I cut, and I just basically pull the whole roof back off. I'm like, nope. And I start all over. And this time I'm going with kind of more of an A-frame style roof, but I think it's going to look a whole lot better. And I'm actually, yeah, I'm doing it here. I couldn't remember if I was doing it here. I'm actually making these sit a little bit higher. The dark oak sitting a little bit higher than the spruce. So it kind of makes these ridges in the roof, which I thought actually turned out pretty cool for this roof. And then right in here, I decide I'm going to add more ridges down the middle, just 2 more ridges like that. And so basically they're setting kind of a block above where the spruce is sitting. So And I kind of liked it, I have to admit. And I think it turned out better than what I was originally thinking anyways. So it's not really super elaborate or difficult or anything like that, but I think it works for this building very, very nicely. Like originally I had some really overly grandeur type roof for this, and nope, I think just this simple, very, very simple roof works out nicely. So, and then we're just going to bring the dark oak over on this side just to finish framing in where the roof's going to be. And you can see the ridge is really nice right here. So we kind of got those ridge stairs of dark oak that come through. And then we'll finish out the spruce. Boom. And there we go. That's kind of what we got going on for the roof. And actually the roof, I was going to add kind of a ridge that runs through it, but the roof is actually 2. It's not an uneven number, so it actually doesn't work out to have like a ridge running through it. So I think that little setup for the roof actually works out pretty nicely, because I don't feel like we need a roof line on that kind of runs through. I think what we have up there works out pretty good. And you can see I've added some fences over there just to kind of keep it open feeling, so the air can kind of move through, but it's not, it doesn't feel enclosed like a wall would, for example. And so now we're adding in a loft section just to kind of make use of this really tall roof that we've got going. We can use it for storage. We could use it for a bedroom. There's a lot of stuff that we could do. And my plan is right here I'm adding a ladder to that little post that's going to be sitting there so that we can access this little loft area. So it's only 1 block wide to move from one side to the other, but that's fine. It doesn't need a whole lot of space. So, and now I'm just kind of shaping up the interior of that roof, and I'm adding a balcony over on this side and then just fencing it in. There we go. And then I'm just adding some fences just kind of to break things up and kind of make it feel like it's a room, but not actually be a room, right? No walls. And now we are adding just some posts on the side because I felt like these corners needed something. And it does kind of make everything a little bit more flat, but it actually works out nicely. And I think actually gives this this building a little bit of contrast between that stone on the corners, and I actually quite like it. Plus, that actually works out better with my planters on the other side also. And now we're kind of adding, I'm just going through and I'm adding some variation to the stone because we have all this stone blocks right there. And I kind of want to break it up with a little bit of cracked stone bricks and mossy stone bricks. And I just kind of pop over here. I'm going to run around the building a couple times and just kind of add some stone. But I found that it's a pain to try to have the camera chase me the entire time, so I did a little bit more still shots like this, and you can kind of see me moving around the building. I figure a good tour at the end is plenty. You guys know what I'm doing. So right there, I'm just tossing a little bit of gravel and then some smooth stone stairs to kind of break up the cobblestone that leads down to the basement. And then right there, I'm actually just running around. I wasn't actually accomplishing anything, so I decided to just kind of move around the building here and get us in position for the next bit of building that we've got coming up, and kind of give you an idea of the building as a whole. So right now I'm adding shutters, and I actually started out with spruce shutters, but you can see I've ran spruce trap doors around the building to kind of add some contrast. Plus I have the spruce trapdoor planter, so I end up changing this to dark oak because I just think it looks a little bit better and it gives us some other wood color variation. And I did do that around the entire building, which you'll see that more here in just a little bit. So, and then here we go. I'm just doing a final, just kind of zip around the building so you guys can see it all now that it's done. Okay, so that's where we're up to at the moment. I think it's pretty good. I will say it took about 4 hours to put this together. Only about 3.5 hours of actual building footage. The other 30 or so minutes was me having to run back to my base to get materials, of course. But let me pop over here and sleep. I've been sleeping in c-luv's house because it's right over here, and the bed's right here. I will get a bed in there next episode. Next episode. What I'm thinking is next episode we're going to finish decorating it out. We have a little bit to do to the exterior, but it's very, very minor stuff. So I decided we're going to wait. Because, I mean, we've got, you know, the planter boxes and hanging plants and hanging lights. We've got to do a little bit of lighting on the outside, and we have to do a little bit of landscape work, adding some plant life and stuff around here and bringing back some trees and stuff like that. And then we have to decorate the inside. And my plan is next episode we're going to decorate the inside. We're going to do the rest of the little landscaping out here. And then we are going to pop over to our shop and start putting that together. So I think overall I am pretty happy with it. Actually, after the recording I did throw this together. Just a little I finished out the staircase because I had forgotten that. Oh, and there's one thing up there that I've got to fix real quick whenever we go up there. Which I'm going to have to grab something, that's fine. But this is where we're at the moment. I decided not to put a bunch of vines on the building and hanging off the roof and stuff like that because if you look around the rest of the town, the rest of the neighborhood, there's not a lot of overgrowth. And so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to really go crazy with plant life on this building and like big vines hanging down and stuff like that because, you know, there's not a lot of really dense trees and stuff around here. And I mean, there's some, you can see some vines there. That's Frill's house over there. You can see some vines there, but I think for the most part, most of the roofs are pretty clear. So I decided to kind of keep with that. There's a little bit of vines hanging there. But I think with the current environment, I guess, around here, I mean, there's not a lot of trees. I don't think there'd be a whole lot of vines hanging off this. We might add a couple small things like that, but I think for the most part it's going to be flowers and grass around this and kind of keep the roof fairly clean. So, and then if we head down here, I am pretty happy with this little pathway. I am going to add probably some stone and stuff up through here. This is where the path, I think Spider built the path over to our little area back when it was still a cobblestone box. But I will have to kind of adjust the path just slightly so it kind of plugs in right in here instead of being off over on this side. But if we head on down, of course the inside is a horrible mess. It's not decorated yet. But this is what we've got going on in the basement. And I do quite like this though because we can step out into that area. But we are gonna finish out this basement next episode. And then if we head up, I haven't done the in-betweens yet on this floor because I've got to work on that. Let me grab a piece of this oak wood, just one piece. And then of course this floor, we actually have some glass and stuff in here. We have to shape up the staircase. I did do the in-betweens on this floor. So you can see I kind of dug them in and finished them out. I kind of like that. It makes it a little bit more interesting than just a flat block, you know. Of course, I do have stone popping through right there. I might bring this out one more so that you don't see the stone. But you will see the dark oak. I don't know. I'm not for sure yet. But, yeah. And then I went through and added some cracked stone and mossy stone and stuff like that. Throughout just to give this building a little bit more life. And I don't know if I'm going to add any cobblestone into the walls yet or not. I feel like if it reaches a point where it's cobblestone, then the house is like getting ready to collapse. I think it works for like dilapidated abandoned buildings, but I don't think it works for this one. But we'll see. We'll see. So if we head up, this floor and the loft above it, I decided to keep this really, really open. This side I filled in with fences because, of course, that's kind of like wild terrain, at least right now. So maybe this is like a good... you know, if pillagers attack, we can fire down arrows on them or something. I don't know. It kind of kept the open feeling, but still kind of served as sort of a wall right there. And then we've got some nice balconies. I do love... one thing I love about this house is the view, because we're kind of set up above the rest of the town, and we can kind of look out. I mean, there's some great vantage points from up here. That's why I wanted to keep it so open up here. And of course, this is what I wanted to fix. Oh, it's not oak though, it's spruce. Ooh, I don't know if I have any spruce left. I can't recall. Oh, I do. Okay. That's right, because I got some whenever I went back to get my banners. And so I've got spruce over here. Um, this is going to be a little bit tricky. Let me pop up here and let me see, because that's going to be kind of poking through. I tell you what I could do. Just like that. Be fine, yeah. Okay. And then I've got to go get another spruce slab to fix that roof. I lost a few of my scaffolding blocks, like 11 of them, because I had 40 whenever I came out here. But it's no biggie because we have bamboo growing in the apothecary now. So it's the main reason I didn't have scaffolding before was because I didn't really have it set up anywhere. Like I had some because Drama had brought some by, but I didn't have it set up anywhere. So, and actually right after I finished speed building, like right after, like I exited the game and went and just made sure that my video had saved properly and everything. And Drama, whenever I logged back in, Drama was entering the house. And I'm happy to say that she approves of the house. And then up here we have our loft area, which gives us a little bit higher vantage point. And it's basically, I don't know what we use it for. We might put beds up here, or we might use it for storage, or I don't know for sure. But just kind of a little loft area to kind of make use of this tall roof, because otherwise I wouldn't really have any use for it. So, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, it only took about 4 hours to throw this together, and this is actually the worst part. Decorating it takes a little bit more time, but it's also a little bit more easy to do. Building the building is the worst part. But I hope you guys like it. We'll get it all finished out next episode, and what's this? Eventually will be a path through Spiderweb Ninja's base. Okay. We'll get the rest of the decorations finished out next episode. It's nothing too major for this building as far as the exterior goes. Interior, we're going to do kind of the jump cuts like we did with the apothecary. Everybody seemed to like that. So, by the way, I've been catching up on comments. I got a little bit behind, so I have been reading them. I just haven't gotten, gone through and gotten, most all of them responded to yet. So I do apologize about that. But I do appreciate all the great comments. We do have a name for our bow and our apothecary. We're going to be naming those here soon on camera. So fun stuff. I do appreciate all the really good input and everything for those. But I hope you guys like the building. I hope you guys like it. So we've finally made our mark on spawn, and we have a house at spawn. I feel like I've been slacking on that because our base has actually grown quite a lot since we first started. And it's taken me like 2.5 weeks to get a house at spawn, but we do now have a house at spawn. So, but anyways, I'm going to end out this episode here. I'm going to quit rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked the build. Like I said, we'll get finished out next episode. So, if you guys enjoyed it, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.